In a groundbreaking ruling, a Montana state court has sided with young individuals who alleged that the state's promotion of fossil fuels violated their right to a clean and healthful environment. This pivotal decision marks the first of its kind on a national scale. The court found that a provision within the Montana Environmental Policy Act had inflicted damage on both the environment and the young plaintiffs. This provision had prevented Montana from considering the climate impacts of energy projects, leading the court to declare it unconstitutional. Legal experts anticipate that this win could invigorate the environmental movement and reshape climate-related litigation across the entire nation. As a result, a surge of cases aimed at advancing climate action may be on the horizon. This case has drawn global attention, remarked Michael Girard, the founder of Columbia's Sabin Center for Climate Change Law. For climate activists who have sought legal means to counter detrimental governmental policies and industrial activities harming the environment, this verdict signifies a rare triumph. The case involved 16 young individuals from Montana, aged between 5 and 22, who brought forward the nation's first constitutional and youth-led climate lawsuit to go to trial. While the number of climate-related cases worldwide has more than doubled over the past 5 years, youth-led lawsuits in the United States have encountered significant challenges. According to a report from the United Nations Environment Program and the Sabin Center released in July, at least 14 such cases have already been dismissed. The report also highlighted that about 75% of the approximately 2,200 ongoing or concluded cases were filed in U.S. courts. Experts point out that the Montana youths benefited from the state's constitution, which guarantees the right to a clean and healthful environment. The state's economy heavily relies on coal, and Montana possesses the largest recoverable coal reserves in the country. Attorneys representing the plaintiffs emphasized that the state had never denied a permit for a fossil fuel project. Over 5 days of emotional testimony in June, the young plaintiffs recounted the harm they had endured due to climate change. Their claims included stories of a 15-year-old with asthma who described feeling like a prisoner in my own home due to wildfire smoke during the pandemic. The lawsuit's namesake, 22-year-old Ricky Held, shared how extreme weather had negatively impacted her family's ranch. Held expressed that a favorable judgment would kindle hope for the future. While I understand that climate change is a global issue, Montana must also take responsibility for its contribution, she affirmed. In response, the state's attorneys argued that Montana's share of global greenhouse gas emissions is relatively small. Michael Russell, Montana Assistant Attorney General, contended that altering or overturning the disputed law would have no meaningful impact or appreciable effect on the climate. The trial concluded unexpectedly early on June 20, with the state commencing and concluding its defense on the same day. Departing from their expected strategy of challenging the climate science underlying the plaintiffs' claims, the state pivoted to argue that the legislature should address the contentious law, not the judiciary. In his closing statement, Russell criticized the case as a week-long airing of political grievances that properly belong in the legislature, not a court of law. Girard noted the surprise shift in strategy, stating, "Everyone anticipated a more robust defense. They might have concluded that the scientific foundation of climate change was too strong to contest." While the state is likely to appeal the decision, experts believe that the positive outcome for the young plaintiffs could influence how judges approach similar cases in other states. This verdict might encourage judges to exhibit judicial courage when addressing climate change. The nonprofit law firm Our Children's Trust, representing the plaintiffs, has taken legal action on behalf of youths in all 50 states and has pending cases in 4 other states. Another prominent case, Juliana v. United States, brought forth by Our Children's Trust in 2015, is also progressing toward trial after facing multiple setbacks. This case targeted the federal government, alleging violations of 21 youths' rights to life, liberty, property, and the protection of public trust resources through actions contributing to climate change. Plaintiff's attorney Phil Gregory affirmed that this court ruling could empower young individuals worldwide to seek legal recourse in safeguarding their futures. He asserted, critical decisions are being made without due consideration for the best scientific evidence and their impact on future generations. This is an extraordinary ruling.